Every election has a question.
An election question.
Every election.
What is the election question now?
And you avoid it and try to make it about Sarakasi of everyday events.
Yes.
It is not. Every election has a question.
Something that drives that election.
Yes. Why are people turning up?
If we get the election question properly, if we address what matters to them most, then those will turn out to vote.
You see, they have already told us what their problem is.
Yes.
And if you go around the country, like we are doing,
yes,
you will hear it from the people. Their problem is the economy. Whether you describe it in terms of hunger, in terms of health, or education, or jobs, it's the economy. It's the economy.
What will be the solution to this problem?
The only way we are ever going to come out of this,
yes,
is to not pay what is odious to us.
Can't pay, won't pay.
Yes.
What are the consequences?
Kenyans are saved 2 trillion that goes out in tax as a minimum. So they can then use it for their
own use. What will the lenders do? August, I think it's 10th, 2027. Jimmi Wanjigi has been elected president with my friend, I don't know when I saw him last, Willis as his deputy president now. They are in State House. Perhaps they have even given Manyora a job as an advisor in State House. How do you go about telling off our lenders that you gave us money, we are not going to pay you? Welcome to our conversation with Manyora. We bring men and women who have something to share. We engage in conversations that will ensure we remain a stable country. We move to greater heights because, like we have said before, it is through these conversations that we can sometimes avert catastrophe that have met other people. We also obey what you ask us to do. For 2 months or so running, you have asked us to bring a person who can address the issue of debt in this country. You have mentioned the name, and today we bring you the person who has the issue of debts on his fingertips. He's also a shrewd businessman of no mean repute, a politician, and a Mr. Fix-It. We bring you today, courtesy of your own demand, Jimmi Wanjigi.
Herman.
Jimmi Wanjigi, the mysterious man.
Karibu sana.
How are you?
Very good, my brother. Karibu.
How is it going?
Very good. Karibu sana.
We thank you so much.
Thank you too.
For welcoming us here in this beautiful place.
Thank you.
We don't take it for granted.
Thank you.
It's such a great honor.
Thank you.
Thank
you for coming.
And like I've said, it is the people who have asked you come here. You come to the show. They have just 2 or 3 questions for you. But before I ask their question, I have mine, which is, you want to be president of the Republic of Kenya. You have made people president before. This time you want to be president. What problem do you want to fix? Because it would appear some people will be getting it wrong. What problem, if you are asked, do you think you want to fix? When you become president, and I'm careful with my English, so when you become president.
Herman, Kenya is a profound nation,
yes,
and a great nation.
Yes.
And there's something that a lot of you political pundits and political podcasters, those who are in the news,
yes,
don't seem to get right.
Which is?
Every election has a question.
An election question.
Every election.
What is the election question now?
And you avoid it and try and make it about sarakasi of everyday events.
Yes.
It is not. Every election has a question.
Something that drives that election.
Yes. Why are people turning up at the polling station?
Yes.
Why are they going to vote? Right? And it has two parameters. Always.
Yes.
Against something and for something.
For something.
And that is all over the world. It's not unique to Kenya.
Yes.
In the last election, there was a question. And many of you did not get it. In the previous election, there was a question. You didn't get it.
2022,
So let us start with the questions.
Yes.
In 1992, what do you believe was the question?
Multipartism.
Multipartism.
Pluralism.
Pluralism.
Yes.
Do you remember the for and the against?
Yes.
What was it against?
For multipartism against dictatorship or something like that, I don't know.
So in 1992,
Yes.
it was against Moi
More, yes.
and what he represented.
Which is the past, which is dictatorship.
So that is where you had the first clarion calls of Moi must go.
Yes.
But it was for something. Multipartism was about the people deciding their own vote, their own destinies.
Yeah.
At the time, you had a councillor, you had an MP,
Yes.
you had a president.
Yes.
And that was the first presidential election.
Yes.
So it was for the people to decide.
Let the people decide.
Let the people decide.
Yes.
The people felt empowered that they could go to the ballot and decide their own political
For the
destiny.
first time in a long time.
No, for the first time since independence.
Yes.
Right. 97, no different.
No different, yeah.
All right?
Yes.
In 2002, no different. No different.
No different. Moi was not running, but his person was running.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was against him, but for
The people.
the people
Yes.
to decide their own destiny, especially
Correct.
away from Moi.
Yes.
In 2007, what was it for? And what was it against?
207. I think more or less the same.
Really?
Had it changed?
In 2007?
Had it
I'm asking you a question. We're having a conversation.
I don't know.
In
Enlighten me.
2007.
Yes.
In 2007,
Yes.
it was probably the most blatant tribal election we've ever had in
Oh,
this country.
41 versus 1.
Correct.
The rest of the country
So
versus...
it was against one and for
Not an individual, but a community
a
now.
community,
Yes.
against one tribe,
Yes.
but for
The rest of this...
41.
41 versus 1.
Correct.
Yes.
In 2013, what was it against and what was it for?
Tell us.
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know.
No, what do you mean you don't know?
When a student says he doesn't know,
No,
the teacher provides the answer.
You're the ones
Because
with
the teacher is
political
being paid-
pundits. You're the ones in this space.
The teacher is being paid
No.
a salary. He has to earn his
You are
salary.
the ones in this space.
Yes.
And you must start having conversations.
Yes,
Real
yes.
conversations.
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me you don't know what 2013 was about?
I don't know.
2013,
Yes.
right, was an election that revolved around ICC.
ICC. The question of ICC, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it was against ICC.
Yes.
But for what?
Could it be for choice, for people to choose?
For the form of our own justice. We talked about the People's Court.
The people, yeah.
But it was even deeper. It was for a country that is stopping clashes between tribes. For us solving our own issues internally.
Correct?
Getting rid of this tribal business that had caused us so much hell, that had cost in 2007 1,400 Kenyan lives,
Yeah.
over 300,000 displaced,
This place, yeah.
right? And saying that we are able to solve our own problems. And we are going to. And we never want to return back to that. Where we are divided in tribe to the extent that we are killing each other here.
Are you saying there was no tribal grouping or ethnic mobilization then?
There was ethnic mobilization. But the view was that these were the communities that were being charged at ICC. It was two main communities that were in the ICC.
And that those two could unite.
That those two could unite and say, we'll solve our own problems. Right? And we want to put to bed this issue of us ever spilling blood on each other here as Kenyans, just because we are of different ethnic groupings.
Yes.
That was an important stamp in the history of our country.
2013.
Very important.
Yeah.
2017. We remember NASA Hawa.
NASA corruption.
NASA Hawa.
NASA Hawa. Yeah.
NASA Hawa.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes.
We had never seen such a proliferation of theft
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes.
Even people are hearing billions being stolen even at county level.
Yeah.
The theft of public resources had been devolved under the new constitution.
We had normalized billion to look like,
Can you imagine?
just like
Can you imagine?
normal shillings.
In a country where most people cannot find 400 shillings to survive per day.
Yes.
Now, so it was against theft. And it was for what?
For the people?
Canon.
Yes.
We were going to Canon
Canaan.
for all of us.
For honey and
Milk and honey.
Correct.
The land of milk and honey for all of us. Okay?
yes, yes, yes.
Higher. Come 2022.
Yes.
What was it against and what was it for?
We were told 2022 hustler versus the others.
So the dynasty were the ones against.
Yeah.
We were against the dynasty.
Then
And the hustler,
were the
it was for.
For, yeah.
So it was a political and economic narrative
Yes.
of have-nots
Yeah.
versus the haves.
Yeah. Turning things round.
For who? The have-nots.
Yeah,
Because that was what
the common
hustlers were viewed as.
Correct.
The have-nots.
Yes.
And that there are few who have.
Who have.
Right. So the few who have were displaced. And the have-nots got to power. The hustler got to power.
Yes.
So what is the election about in 2027?
That's what you are here to tell us. Tell us now.
One of the greatest things that was embedded in 2022 was the economic question of haves and have-nots.
Okay.
Those who have, those who do not
Don't
have.
have.
And it was economic. It was economic.
Yes.
And the current regime marketed it very well. Even tried to bring some economic structure called bottom-up.
Bottom up. To create some
They could
economic
not explain.
miracle. Yes.
And they definitely have been unable to implement whatever it meant.
Yes, yes.
But they cemented in people's minds the question of our money, our wealth, and whose hands it is in. Very important.
Yeah.
In 2024, because the other aspect that you must educate Kenyans about, Herman,
Yes,
because
yes.
you are busy on this show politically,
Yeah.
is that there is always a referendum. There is always an election question that is embedded between terms. Always. Always.
Midterm in some democracies.
Before 1992,
Yes.
you had Saba Saba,
Yes.
where Matiba, Rubia, and Jaramogi, and Raila
Yes.
came out to say, we are going with the young Turks.
Yeah.
Good friends of mine like Jimmi Orengo and all, and Paul Moite, my
Yes.
former party leader,
Manyora and the rest.
Manyora and everybody, got
Yes.
out to say, we are going to the rally in Kamkunji grounds on Saba Saba,
Moya
which
Penda
led to
Spender.
massive detentions,
Yes.
right? But notwithstanding the threat from the state,
Yeah.
in those draconian laws of the old constitution, Wananchi showed up. And that was the turning point that brought multipartyism.
Yeah.
In 1997, before the election, there was something called Mageuzi.
Mageuzi, yeah.
No reforms, no elections.
No elections. Civil society.
That is where, in fact, I think Orengo was the head of that, by the way.
Yeah, Kina Kibuta Kibwana and the rest.
Yes.
Which gave birth
That
to
is-
IPPG, I think.
It gave birth to IPPG,
Yeah.
which led to Moi not being able to stand again after 1997. That
Yes.
is where the two-term limit of the president came.
Came in here.
In 2007, in 2005, you
Yes.
had banana orange.
In
Constitutional
between the
reform.
election of 202
Correct.
and 207. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
That is where ODM was,
Was
born.
born. Yeah, yeah.
It won that referendum, and it informed
Yes.
the 2007 election.
Yes.
Between 2007 and 2013, what did you have?
2007, the new constitution.
Correct.
2010.
In many ways, that informed
Yeah.
the election. Raila was trying to run on that,
Yeah.
on that basis that I have helped bring the new constitution,
Yeah.
and I'm the best one who can further it.
Correct.
Now, between 2013 and 2017, what did we have?
I think we had a lot of constitutional changes, and a lot of legal changes.
You had firstly the attempt by Raila to go to a referendum under Okoa.
Yes.
It failed,
Yes.
which then led to the battle on IBC,
Yes.
the commissioners. Removing the commissioners, replacing them,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
bringing in new
Isaac
election
Hassan.
laws.
Yes.
Isaac Hassan.
Oh yeah, and the new
agreements
laws
that were done in Windsor.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
The agreements
Kiraitu
were done in
Murungi
Windsor,
Orengo.
and that brought about the new election laws. These were 34A,
Yeah,
B,
yeah. All those things.
electronic server, nanini, transmission. Here. What angushed Uhuru in 2017?
Yes.
Those laws.
Yes.
That is why Supreme Court
Nullified.
saw, yes, saw malfeasance.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Between 2017 and 2022,
2022.
what did we have?
The handshake.
No. Beyond handshake.
Beyond handshake. Do I remember? Yeah.
BBI.
BBI. Oh yeah. An attempt at part of the handshake.
BBI,
Yes.
right, was led by Raila and
And the Uhuru Kenyatta. Yes.
See, they angushwa.
Gangushwa.
Why are you surprised that they were angushwa in the election of 2022?
That had already shown
That is a bearing.
that this is
That
the
is a
direction.
bearing. Correct.
Now tell us between 2022 and 2027.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, 2024,
Oh,
2025.
Gen Z. If there is anybody who has angushed the Ruto government,
Yes.
it's Gen Z.
What does that tell
They
us?
did two things.
Yes.
They cemented the economic question
Yes.
that is in people's minds. They came out
Cost of living.
against a tax bill
Yes.
that was going to give them further pain on their lives.
Yeah.
Further pain. In
Further
other
pain.
words, they were already in pain.
Now
They
you
were
want to,
refusing further.
you want to
further
multiply
pain.
the pain.
And they succeeded. They angushed a tax bill, first ever in this country.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
They succeeded.
And we're more daring than ever before, than anybody else.
I'll
had
say
ever
even not two things, three things.
been. Yes.
Second, and take note, when they angushed it,
Yes.
it cost them their lives.
Yes. There's bloodshed. Yeah.
And people like to try and wish it away.
Yes.
But this young generation of ours were the same age of the Dedan Kimathis of the Mau Mau
Yes.
when they rose up during the time of
It's
emergency.
young men who went to the bush.
It
Yeah.
is the Gen Z of that time.
Yes.
But take note, I have been part and parcel of demonstrations in this country since the Moi era.
Yes.
I never saw anybody running for bullets. In 2024, I saw Gen Z running for bullets. Not away from them, to receive them.
Yes. Yes.
I've never seen.
Never seen that.
I've never seen a braver community than I saw in 2024.
Yes.
And blood was spilled on our soil.
Carrying flags
Blood
and
was spilled on
handkerchiefs.
our soil by our young generation
Yes.
so that all of us stop having more economic pain. This young community who just previously had many of them did not turn up to vote, were now actively participating in politics and saying no more pain economically. That was a referendum on William Ruto and his government. It was also a cementing of the election question. It is about this. It is about our money,
So they
our lives economically, and our stolen future.
So-
Their stolen
Yes.
future, not yours and mine, Herman.
So
You see,
the political
Yes.
the question, the election question,
It's the economy.
the economy.
Yes, it's James Clavell who said, "It's economy is stupid. It's
Yeah.
economy."
Yeah.
You remember him?
Yes.
It's economy is stupid. it's
Repeated
economy.
by Bill Clinton.
Yes.
Yes.
He was the advisor to Bill Clinton.
Yes.
All right? It's the economy is stupid. It's the
Yes.
economy.
Yeah.
That is the question. Now, When you see that, that is what I was expecting in a lot of your interviews when you're interviewing.
Now I'm here to interview you about that.
No, you're interviewing me, but I'm hoping that you can shape.
What you need to do
The
is to
issue
watch.
here
Is to watch after today.
No. The issue here
Yes.
has already been defined.
It's the economy.
It's the economy. Hii ingine ambayo mnataka kufanya ya sijui ya ukabila ya sijui nini, hiyo ni yenu. This thing is about the economy.
How many of the political players are seeing that as the question?
Well, I don't.
You understand this country,
I
Jimmy?
don't know.
You have worked with all these politicians, haven't you? Apart from the young ones.
I don't pay that mind to it. I focus on what we are doing, not what others are doing.
But supposing they are doing the same thing like you,
I don't hear it.
Because
if that was the case,
yes,
we would be sitting here together talking to you.
So in other words, you are saying...
Because I am not hearing
yes,
the same agenda. Otherwise, I'm sure agenda would have brought us together by now.
You can't share with them?
What do you mean I can't share with them?
Share with them. If they are lost,
I've been doing
help them find
education on TV for the last, I don't know how many years.
Yes.
I remember when we first came out on debt
yes,
in 2022.
Yeah.
I had to buy space in the media houses
Yes,
to advertise to Kenyans what their problem is. So, my friend, we have been talking. We've been saying.
So let me ask you, in a country where politics is driven by regions, by tribe, how do you see the economy displacing all these other parameters?
You know, Herman,
and taking center stage.
You're talking like somebody who doesn't want to understand the change is here.
It takes time for us to.
It
takes
time
for people to. I'm one of those people.
It is here. It is not even that it's coming tomorrow.
Yes.
It is here.
Change is here.
In 2022,
yes,
was the first announcement of change. You know, change comes announced. Eh?
Yeah.
It doesn't come quietly.
No.
It's just the Hermans.
Except that not many people see.
It's just the Hermans of this world who don't want to see.
They don't see. They slip through the revolution. Amusha,
who was the largest voter in 2022?
I still
Who was the number one voter?
I thought it was just the normal.
But you did the numbers. Who was the number one voter?
In terms of what? In terms of age? In
turnout.
Terms of turnout?
Yes.
In terms of region?
Numbers. Who was number one, number two, number three?
I don't get you. That question is very difficult for me.
The largest voter
yes,
in 2022 was 8 million votes that did not vote.
Yeah. I get you.
That was the largest.
Which was a statement.
That was the winner of that election.
The person who didn't come to vote, why do you think they didn't come to vote?
And that has never been in the history of this country.
Why was that so?
That means they found no interest in what was being presented. We said change comes announced.
Yes.
That was telling you they were not interested in what was being sold to them.
Will they be interested this
time around? They were not interested in what was being sold. Number one announcement. Mm-hmm. Number two, the Gen Z revolution of 2024. Mm-hmm. Another announcement. The fulcrum of our politics completely changed in 2024. Number three,
yes,
the unfortunate death of my friend Raila Amolo Odinga, who has been a man that has cemented politics here for the last 30 years.
And now
you're either for or against him.
Yeah.
After this thing of Wagogo, kings, what are they called? Vigogo communities.
Yes.
Vigogo communities.
Kingpins
of communities.
Yes.
He was the master.
Master of kingpin. Putting them together.
Been there since Wazungu time.
Yes.
But he was the master at putting it all together.
Yes.
And marketing it. Especially from 2007. 2002 and 2007.
Yes.
Right? His demise. After 30 years, I want you to imagine the phenomenon of Raila Odinga. Because he was phenomenal. That from the time he broke away from Ford Kenya and went to form his party,
NDP,
yeah, with the big logo of Tinga.
Tinga, yes.
where he sought a re-election in Kibra,
Yeah.
right?
And he came for the
From that
nomination
time, that
driving
was
the
his
tractor.
first move, Tinga,
Yes.
to what he ended up with broad-based.
Yes.
He had created 18 different templates, Herman.
18 different
18, Herman.
templates.
18 different templates. That is the stature of the man. So all those who have been there in politics with him, that's how they should compare themselves. Where have they done anything like that? Even half, even a quarter of the different templates the man created. So you are either for or against what he's doing.
And now we are going into
For
an
or
election
against what he's
without
doing.
him.
Are you going to an election without him? Three bells, Herman,
What is the implication?
that rang.
What is the implication?
The implication is change is here. Change is here.
Explain.
The election will not be on those legacy agenda you're talking about. Legacy issues.
Legacy politicians.
Legacy politicians. People are saying they want change. But even you people in the media are refusing to hear. You're refusing to hear.
We shall join DCP in that case.
You are refusing to hear.
We shall join DCP to
Kenyans
listen.
have said over and over they want change. But maybe change is too much for you. Maybe change is, you don't know what it will show,
Jimmy,
what will come out of it.
You know, there's nothing people resist more than change. You know that?
Yes, but we need it.
Yeah.
And this young generation
Yeah.
are going to be very big players.
Yes.
Their parents this time will be influenced by them, not the other way around.
Some of them are making fun. They are saying, once they realize the parents are not going to vote in the right direction, they will hide the IDs.
Yes. Yes, that's how aggressive they are.
Yeah.
Because it is their future.
On a serious note, when this enhanced voter registration started, I said I could call this election towards the end. And I looked at the number. You have a point. Because the way they are turning out to register, with more than a week to go, they had hit 1.8 of the projected 2.5.
Which is very good.
That is a statement. That is a statement, yeah.
And there is going to be another one.
Yes, of course, the final
resolution, the mass one.
Yeah.
The final registration. And I remember the 8 million.
Yes, the 8 million who didn't vote.
Don't forget them.
8 million.
Yes. Most of those were the same young people.
And you are saying, if I get you right, it is, if we get the election question properly, if we address what matters to them most, then those will turn out to vote.
You see, they have already told us what their problem is.
Yes.
And if you go around the country, like we are doing,
yes,
you will hear it from the people. Their problem is the economy. Whether you describe it in terms of hunger, in terms of health, or education, or jobs, it's the economy. It's economy.
Make me also understand, because sometimes some of us are slow learners, like you have said, we have a problem getting it. In a country so used to making decisions on the basis of ethnicity, or tribe, if you wish, how easy is it going to be? How really easy is it going to be for us to shift so that people now look at the economy, look at issues that affect them, like the ones you have just mentioned, high cost of living, unemployment, etc., and make decisions in the election on the basis of that? How is it? How is it?
Herman,
how easy is it going to be?
It's not going to be difficult at all. After the Gen Z revolution of 2024, some of us spent quite some time listening to this young generation of freedom fighters. And there are some commonalities you need to understand that many people don't get. What put them together? Because if you remember that election, they said they were tribeless.
Tribeless, leaderless.
They were classless. They were religionless.
Leaderless.
They were leaderless.
Partyless.
So what was the glue? What was the glue?
It is a common...
How many people ask, is the common word?
But the issues common to them, the problems.
Which are what?
Basically economic.
And I want you to remind your viewers that this happened in 37 counties, including the president's own home constituencies.
Yes.
They came out against his right to tax us more. Okay?
Yes.
That is a vote of no confidence in a leadership. So, how did they galvanize together? What is it that keeps them, what is it that they connect with together?
The common problems they have.
But what binds them is their history.
Yes.
So anybody just needs to just talk to them.
But now,
and they'll tell you that
you are making a very serious thing look very simple, Jimmy.
It is actually quite simple.
Yeah, I can see
there was
viewers
one
asking.
Common thread. There's one common thread here.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's one session I must recall I hear.
Yeah.
That I had.
Yes.
With about 30.
Young people.
Young people. Yeah. Between the ages of 19 and 30. Some in university, some had finished university, some had never gone to university. It was a diverse group, young men and women. And I asked, what puts you together?
The answer?
A young lady got up, a law student, and she said this, Herman. She said, sir, let me ask my colleagues questions. And maybe then you will understand us. I said, okay. She asked, first question, how many of us, you went to school, boarding school, from the age of 6? All but 3 put up their hands. The 3 who didn't put up said they went to boarding school at 9.
Yes.
Were you in boarding school, primary and high school? They're all confirmed.
Yes, those 3.
No, all.
All.
So primary school, boarding school, high school,
yes,
they were in boarding school. So who brought you up? Was our second question. Said we were brought up by teachers and ourselves.
Teachers
and themselves. They are fellow students. Meshika.
Meshika kapsa.
Third question, did you know tribe, religion, class? He said, no, we're all equal. In our own suffering, in both primary and boarding school.
Correct.
We were all
suffering.
Did you like your teachers? No.
No.
Majority said the most they liked is one teacher.
Out of the many teachers.
All of them.
Yeah.
Did you know your parents? They said no.
They dumped them in boarding schools.
They were dumped. Their parents, they respected them, but they didn't know them, and and their parents don't know them.
Yes.
I'm not telling you what I was hearing.
By the way, that's a very serious conversation.
Very serious conversation.
Many parents don't know this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who took you through hardships and pain? Our fellow students.
Yes.
At most, that one teacher.
Yes. Some empathy, sort of. Yeah.
Did you feel that boarding school was like a punishment, was suffering? Unanimous.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Yes.
Yes.
Some sort of prison.
Aya. And what was your hope and promise? That after it all,
yes,
we'll have an education, a future,
some sort of canon,
milk and honey.
Yeah.
Are you getting it today?
Lucky to get water.
There were, let's say, 10 who had graduated there.
Yes.
How many of you have jobs since you graduated? 2 put up their hands.
Which is a serious common problem.
No, in fact, the consensus was this word.
Yes.
We feel conned.
We feel conned.
Yes.
The system has conned us.
We've been conned all our lives.
The system has conned us.
It's been a con throughout our lives.
A conspiracy between everybody against us.
Maybe even our parents.
From parents, the government,
the systems,
everybody.
Everything. Yes. So, Herman, you want to keep conning them? Telling them what matters is not what their problems are, but it's some little thing out there called tribe.
But you know then, somebody listening to you, Jimmy, will think it is so simple because then I need to be applying for a job. I need to be applying for a job in State House. Because you see, you've stated that the legacy politicians, and that is to say the politicians we have grown up with, we know them. All these, the Kalonzos, the rest, all these people that are around, have no idea of this one challenge, of this one problem. And if they have an idea, not a very good idea, and they are basing their thinking on old ways of doing things, so then it will follow that if there's one individual who knows this, and this resonates with the voters who are the majority, then that person is poised to very easily become the president. And that person could be Jimmy Wanjigi. Should I start applying for a job?
You see, Herman,
I don't want a big job. I just want advice in State House.
Herman,
yes.
You see, the key thing here
yes.
is that as long as we are talking about the people of Kenya,
yes,
and we are talking the issues of the people of Kenya,
yes,
and being honest about them,
yes,
any debate around those issues,
yes,
is the furtherance for all of us.
For all of us.
Not some of us, all of us. My problem is when you don't discuss the people of Kenya, leaders want to talk about themselves. Let us talk about the people of Kenya.
Because I want to ask the question, that was my question about the problem, which is basically the economy. It's such a serious issue.
It's a very serious
issue. Does
it
pain you that a lot of the people who are in positions of leadership and decision making miss the point? Does it pain you?
Completely. In fact, they miss the point. They don't bother to research. Yes. They don't bother to learn, and they have been there for a very long time.
Could that be part of what is...
And that's why we call them legacy politicians. Yes. They actually are of the past. This is not their kind of politics. Issue-oriented politics that you see out in the West, in more developed societies, is what is coming here. Why is it we don't understand now? We have a more educated populace who can interrogate issues.
Would I be right
who are now with their phones in tune with any issue in the world? With AI, with IT, they can research anything.
Would I be right to assume that that is what is driving you to go for presidency?
Yes. What is driving me, I can tell you, is to see this country better than I know it is right now. You know, the one thing about leadership, and this is one thing I hope past leaders ask themselves. I know Kibaki did. That in my time of being president, did I leave Kenyans better than I found them?
Some contribution.
And I know he had a lot of peace. No. He had a lot of peace. Knowing that he left Kenyans better than he found them after Moi left. The country that he received under Moi, he left it better. He left it better when he handed it over to Uhuru. Uhuru must ask himself that question.
Given a
did
chance,
I leave Kenya
leave it
better than Kibaki gave me?
Or worse?
Yes, or worse. William Ruto must ask himself the same question. I received this from Uhuru.
Did I go down or
yes, did I go down or did I lift people's lives?
What's your assessment of the two?
I think my economic assessment is that both Uhuru and Ruto are going to leave this country worse off than Kibaki left it for us. Yes.
Why?
Uhuru definitely did. And this one is 100% doing so.
Why?
An economy is very simple to measure. People's lives.
But no,
and their numbers. It is so simple.
Just a moment.
So, for example.
Just a moment.
Yes.
We will use the measures, the rulers, the kilos, the whatever, and you shall say this economy is doing badly. Somebody must have caused it to do badly. The guy who is the CEO of the country, then he will be faulted. So even before we measure that the economy is doing badly, why do you think they will drive the economy to do badly? Because in my view, it must be deliberate.
No, I think you better ask them.
Or is
the
it
question.
because you think it's ignorant?
I think it could be a combination of all those. Okay? Maybe when you meet them, you'll ask them.
Because if you didn't know...
Because they are very simple.
Because if Jimmy didn't know, you'd make the same mistake.
No. I know where they went wrong. I don't know whether they know. You're asking me whether they know.
Do you know yourself?
You better ask them.
Why did they go wrong?
This measure is so simple.
Yes.
Is the Kenyan you are serving poorer or
that is the
wealthier?
measure of the economy, but
Yes.
why they went wrong?
No, you better ask them.
Huh?
My view
is
that it was completely intentional.
Intentional?
Yes. Intentional because their methods of leadership. And I believe their method of leadership was to create a country of slaves.
Why?
Because they're easier to govern. It's
Poor
a very colonial mentality. The colonialists came here and understood a particular makeup. If 60% of Kenyans are hungry, are looking for food, that's their daily occupation.
Would Jimmy not also want...
No, hold on. They're easier to govern.
You also want an easier country to govern?
If the Hermans of this world just want to drive a nice car and have have a nice home, and have a job to boot, he's not going to risk anything. And the 10% who are the so-called ruling elite are easy to manage. Because you all want generally the same things. So that is an established model of governance.
How do you break away from that?
Oh, because I'm a businessman.
And that's where the problem is.
And the businessman thinks like this.
No, first of all, before you tell us...
A businessman thinks like this.
Yes.
A businessman sees things with a very simple eye. Where is the market? Who has got purchasing power? You are as wealthy as the next person who can buy your product. So you want people up. You want people with money in their pockets because they'll buy your product.
But
you're not intimidated.
But talking
in fact, you don't choose.
I have one question.
I only want money from this tribe or that tribe.
If you answer, I'm a teacher.
Hold on.
To answer this question, I mark a grade. I give you a grade.
Let me explain before you ask.
Okay.
A businessman loves to see people who have capacity to buy their product. That is the significant difference here.
So can I ask a question
Look at
now?
Trump.
Can I ask
Look
now?
at Trump.
Trump.
Trump walked in. He did not hide what he was about.
No.
He said, I'm for America first.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to go back to the conservative values of Americans.
Yes.
All right? And then it's about money. He's a businessman. This country, America, is losing its strength economically, and I'm going to shift this game, and I don't care what it takes, even if it means war. Right? I am a businessman.
But now that's what I want to ask you.
Ask me.
Jimmy. You can't be more of a businessman than Uhuru Kenyatta.
No, was he a businessman?
Yeah.
No, Uhuru was not a businessman.
The Kenyattas are the most...
No. Uhuru, maybe his family members. But he was not a businessman.
Ruto is a serious businessman.
No.
Serious farmer, serious
Uhuru was never a businessman.
What was he?
He was an inheritance kid. He had a trust fund.
All these fellows.
He was just a trust fund kid.
All these Brooks.
No. He was just a trust fund kid. Uhuru never worked. He was just enjoying himself. No, he did not work.
The Kenyatta family is not driving itself.
Do you think Uhuru got up to wonder how his electricity bill was being paid?
That's not business.
Do you think he wondered whether there's fridge in the food? Whether there's food in the fridge?
Chair companies.
No.
Make decisions.
No. There's some of his family members who are good businessmen.
Yes.
Who work, but not him. He was not a businessman. And he never, ever pushed himself as a businessman. Those were tidbits that maybe were there for marketing.
William Ruto, the businessman.
William?
Yes.
You know, there's a very good interview I was seeing the other day of Jirongo describing William Ruto.
Yes, that was a long time ago.
No, but that's his
foundation. The Bible says when I was a kid, I did things that kids do.
That was his foundation.
No. That was Ruto,
Ruto's model we know. It's not business.
The chicken seller from
No.
Surugoi.
Well, that's what he tells you. Have you ever seen
You're
his
the
audited
chicken seller.
accounts?
I went to check.
Has he ever shown you his
I
audited
went
accounts?
there and people confirmed.
No, Herman.
Yes.
The key thing here
Yes.
is that that's not
and he was
what,
looking for survival.
Just hold on. That's
Yes.
not what William Ruto is known for.
Yes. But I'm talking about
No, just
now
hold
he's a
on.
businessman.
That is not what William Ruto is known for.
Yes.
If you want to know a foundation of William Ruto,
Yes.
it is a terminology called Arab Mashamba.
I know.
That is his terminology. If you want to know the foundation of William Ruto, it is land issues.
But you see, if we were to go like
that is the foundation of his business.
Jimmy, if we were
And
to
his
go like
business,
that,
just hold on.
Yes.
And if his business is to be described, that is called land grabbing. That's a different thing. That is his foundation. I am a businessman. A businessman sees this,
Yes.
that you have capacity to buy what I'm selling.
Yes.
And what I'm selling
Yes.
is has got some value add.
Yes.
I've added some value, and you see value, that's why you purchase. So you want to see people with money. It's a very different eye.
But that can be a liability for the country because in this country, and I think in many other countries, the best business is with government. Okay? So if we take somebody like Jimmy Wanjigi into State House, and he's a declared businessman, and this is not America where it's difficult for the president to do business with government. Jimmy Wanjigi will do business with this government, and he will elbow out all other businessmen.
Okay, Herman.
Explain that.
Thank you very much.
Explain why that's not
first,
true.
let me qualify for you.
Yes.
Not all countries, or most countries in the world, it's the government that has got the business. That's not correct.
I said most.
That's not correct.
Many.
No.
A good number.
No. It depends on your economic model.
Okay.
The economic model we are talking about that has existed in Kenya for 63 years is that way. Government is the beginning and the end all.
Yes.
That's what we are seeking to change.
How?
We are very clear about us developing an economy that is about the people of Kenya, not the government of Kenya. It is the people that will drive it. When we say categorically, we will not pay odious debt, we will not pay debt that had nothing to do with us. That debt is 2.4 trillion this year being paid from our taxes. Our taxes.
That's what people send me to ask
It
you.
is over 100%.
Yes.
It is going to be over 100% of our revenue. All right. That's where we are headed. Our taxes, not some other figment of imagination.
What is the problem you
I
have
am
with
saying,
Yes.
I am saying we will not.
What is your
And that
problem
money
with
which
the
is
debt?
collected.
Explain to the people of Kenya today. What is your problem with the debt? Because we've had people saying, using words like odious debt, we don't owe as much, we can't pay, won't pay. Tell us in a very simple ways.
I'll start,
What is the problem with the debt?
I'll start a little bit
Yes.
by the different phases because it helps you also with the election question.
Yes.
When our forefathers went to fight for independence, they went for two things: freedom
And land.
and land.
Yeah.
Political and economic.
Economic, yeah.
We got our political. And we kept fighting until the 2010 Constitution to embed our political. But in our 2010 Constitution, we also embedded economic. But we had fought up until 2010 for our political. First liberation, second liberation, the new Constitution and reforms. All right?
And we have made some significant strides.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah.
you will not take it away from Kenyans.
Okay.
So to tell a Kenyan that they cannot speak,
That is
say
now.
Ruto must go, you must be a mad person
Yeah.
to think you can arrest me for saying Ruto must go.
Yes.
Yes, that is a freedom you're
We
not
have
going to
achieved
take away.
that.
You've
Yes.
achieved it.
So now the economy.
Now it's the economy.
Yeah.
Right? So what is it we have lacked from the economy? Our freedoms. Because the ultimate freedom for mankind, right, is to be free economically. When you are free economically,
You are free from
you are
hunger.
not a slave to anybody.
Yes.
You define your own destiny, right? And normally it's the politics that refuses that. Now, I am saying that is where we are. So the debt is very simple. Very simple, and I've been trying, I'll try and simplify it.
Please, go ahead.
A constitutional sin was committed in the year 2014.
A sin.
A sin to the Constitution of Kenya. Chapter 12 of the Constitution of Kenya defines what you call our financial controls. Before, it was extremely amorphous how government deals with the taxes and the debt that they take so-called on our behalf.
That's before 2014.
Before 2010.
2010. Yeah.
Before 2010 Constitution. But in the 2010 Constitution, Chapter 12 was embedded. And as you know, even in your own company, Herman, you have an accountant who has some controls.
Yes.
He must operate within those controls.
Yes.
These were embedded in Chapter 12 of our Constitution. How the government that is elected and their workers are going to operate the finances of Kenya.
So they don't go rogue on our money.
Yes, which had been practice of the past.
Okay.
So Article 220 says the following. All revenues, all
From all sources.
sources, development and recurrent,
Yes.
right,
Uh,
must be published. That is the budget. Any anticipated deficit, debt, must be published.
Yes.
Must know where we're getting our revenue
And how
and
we
how
are
it's
spending.
being expended.
And where we have a shortfall, we also say.
Also say. So clear.
Clear so
220,
far.
221.
Yes.
Very clear. So that deficit must be stated in the revenue estimates and expenditure. What is this shortfall? When you go to Public Finance Management Act, it says that if there is a shortfall, it can only be for development expenditure.
You cannot say
Not
we
for
have
recurrent.
a shortfall for salaries or
No, you can't.
Then-
And if you have a cash flow problem, what they call short-term cash flow problem,
Yes.
it can only be 5% of the last audited tax revenues. That is the maximum. What they call an overdraft to be taken at CBK. Right? And it must be repaid within that 1 year.
So that you don't go borrowing to pay salaries.
No. Yeah.
You'll be insolvent.
It is clear. That is the law.
So far we have understood.
Now, that is what you call sovereign.
Yes.
That is what is sovereign to us.
Yes.
So you take the years 2014 to when did Uhuru hand over? 2022.
2022.
Right. What was published as our revenues of expenditure and revenues, income revenues?
Income versus expenditure and deficit.
And what was the deficit? In those 10 years or so, the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta took to parliament in the 2 terms 2 trillion as deficit, which they wanted parliament to approve.
What we didn't have.
What we didn't have.
Yes.
Shortfall
Yes.
that we did not have.
Yes, yes, yes.
And asked parliament to approve
Yes.
the uptake of that shortfall.
Yes.
And that shortfall was to development expenditure only.
Or that giving the government the authority to borrow to fill the gap?
Yes. For development
Yes.
only. 2
trillion.
2 trillion
In 10 years.
in 10 years. Okay?
Correct.
Uhuru had inherited a debt of 1.8, almost 1.9
Almost
trillion.
2 trillion there.
2 trillion from Kibaki.
Yes. He pushed it.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
See, he's been given, parliament has given him approval
Of only 2 trillion.
of only 2 trillion. So even if he didn't pay Kibaki's debt, the maximum he should have been handing over to William Samoei Ruto, 4 trillion.
What did he hand over?
Call it 9 trillion.
9.
Yes.
Where is the 5?
That is the multi-million question. Who approved that 5? And it's more than that.
Supposing
Because I want you to understand
yes.
that in those 10 years,
Yeah.
you and I and every taxpayer in Kenya paid a total of 5.6 towards debt payment. So even that 4,
Yes.
we paid for it. We actually should have a credit.
And how much?
No, hold on, we should have a credit.
Yeah.
If we were to take 4,
Yeah.
because Kibaki is 2, and Uhuru's approved 2
And then
from
you
Parliament.
see,
Then we paid 5.6.
Yes.
We have a credit of 1.6.
how about maybe that's
No, hold on.
Maybe that's the
We should
interest.
have a credit.
Maybe that's the interest,
No, even including interest.
including interest.
Including interest. We should have a credit balance.
But we have
But instead,
debit.
he handed over 9 trillion for Ruto to pay. Today, that 9 trillion, my friend, is heading beyond 13
Today.
in just 3 years, 4 years. It does not decrease. And if you look at the payments, they'll frighten you. I've just told you 2.4 this year.
We are
More
paying.
than Kibaki's debt that he left over
What
in
we
the
are
10
paying?
years he was there.
What
We are paying this year 2.4. Last year we paid 1.7. We can go back.
So we
The
pay.
year before that.
We paying,
the
and
year
yet,
before that.
yet we owe.
Yes.
Where is the problem?
It's not ending.
So where is the problem?
And I can give you the projections between now and 2038.
So what is the problem?
And the minimum we are going to pay as Kenyans.
Yeah.
Until then, our projections are 2 trillion per year is the minimum. Next year we're paying 2.6 trillion. The financial year 2026, 2027.
What is the problem?
And we do not have the revenue.
What is it? Are there interests or what is happening?
Like last month,
Yes.
we paid a total of 206 billion to debt. That's the financial statement. Our revenue last month.
I know where the problem is.
Our revenue last month was 200.
I know where the problem
Was
is.
200.
Yes.
We paid 206. We even had a shortfall of 6 billion. Do you understand? We don't even have the revenue. I'm trying to tell you that we are borrowing. We are paying, if you take 2.4, that is, my friend, 6.6 billion shillings per day. We do not have that revenue. 6.6 billion per day. 3.3 million shillings per minute. To 60 million Kenyans, this financial year, every single 60 million Kenyans is paying 40,000 shillings.
Each one of us.
Yes. So how many are you in your house?
Including children.
Yes, including children. How many are you in your home?
Quite a number.
10, I know. That is 400,000 you're paying from your home. Oh, I know you have a big family.
Let me ask you.
So
the problem to me, if I can try to look at it, is like mortgage. Maybe that's where the problem.
No.
Because mortgage you
This is
pay,
not a
and
mortgage.
it is not disappearing.
This is not a mortgage.
You take
This
a house of 20 million,
my
you
friend,
pay for 15 years, it is still 19 million.
Ask me, I'm a businessman.
Tell us.
That is bankruptcy.
Yeah?
We are bankrupt.
How?
What do you mean how?
We are a going concern.
The minute you don't have the money,
Yes.
that all your revenue is going to debt and you don't even have it, it is bankruptcy.
But we are paying our debts. We are
How are
servicing
we
our
paying
debts.
it?
Have you ever
How
had
are we
we are
paying
not?
it? Means we are borrowing more.
No, we are paying.
No, we are borrowing. But where are we borrowing from?
Unatoa kidogo hapo unalipa na inaendelea.
Okay, let me simplify it.
Yes.
Right? Up until December, forget now this second half.
Yes.
Up until December, the figures were looking like this. For every 100 shillings of the taxes we give, 81 shillings was going to the payment of debt. So the government is left with 20 shillings, let's say. Right? The government needs 40 shillings for the counties.
Yes.
So they're negative 20. They need 30 shillings for their operations.
Negative 50.
Negative 50.
Public service.
They need 60 shillings for salaries. Negative 110.
Now you can see where you have gone wrong.
No, my friend.
You see where you have gone wrong.
Where are you getting your 110?
You see where you have gone wrong.
Tell me.
If that were the case, the economy would have collapsed by now.
It did long time ago.
But we are going concern.
No, it did long time ago. We're just living in what you call denial.
This government,
No,
this
hold on.
country is on its feet. Civil servants are being paid, the police paid, military paid. There are countries that can't pay military even.
Ask me how they are servicing that negative expenditure.
How are they doing it?
Domestic debt, which has gone from roughly 4 trillion to now almost 8 trillion under William Ruto. They are borrowing our money from our banks. So
Is
your
that-
deposits,
is
hold
that-
on,
is
your
that-
deposits,
Is that legal?
no. Because you cannot borrow for recurrent expenditure. It's not legal.
Why-
And I want you to take
why
note
haven't you
that
taken
you are borrowing.
government to
I want
court?
you to understand.
Yes.
Why? I told you there was a constitutional sin created
Yes.
in 2014.
Correct.
We have to go back to start dealing with it from that time. But I want you to imagine, Herman, with the money you have in your bank today,
If any, yes.
the government is borrowing it and coming back and taking your taxes to pay back the money it borrowed from you. All right.
You are painting a very
But
gloomy
that is
picture.
the reality. It's not a gloomy
What
picture.
reality, Jimmy, are you talking about?
If there's another
We are
reality,
not doing that badly. We would know.
who is we?
We as Kenyans.
Oh,
If the government didn't have money
So
in the
Kenyans are
manner
doing
you
so
are
well.
describing,
Kenyans are doing so
this
well.
country would have collapsed. This country is still moving.
Is that so?
Yeah,
For you, it must be for you.
For all of us.
No,
Government is
for most Kenyans.
Government
This
is
country
paying,
is not moving.
Government is paying its meeting its obligation.
Which obligations?
Charging the
Which obligations?
is paying his loans, right?
Which ones?
We have not defaulted on our loans.
Why have we not defaulted?
No, let me say we are paying our loans. We are paying our
No,
salaries.
hold on.
We are doing development.
Hold on.
Roads are being
I've just
built.
given you roads are not being built.
How?
Which ones?
Roads are being built in this country.
My friend,
The president
please,
is launching roads.
Please, we all know about that. If you still believe anything Kenya Kwanza government is doing, then
Look at the Talanta
you are
Stadium.
those I say are living in fool's paradise.
Look at Talanta Stadium.
Yes, which now the World Bank has said that is a loan. That is a debt. Put it under the debt portfolio. Securitization is a loan. Put it under the debt portfolio. Don't try and hide it as something else. It is based on future income of taxation. It is a debt. And they had been told not to take any more debt because we can't afford it. Please understand.
Yes.
Please understand. I've given you the picture.
Yes.
The law says you can only borrow for recurrent expenditure, for development.
For development.
So they have breached the law.
They are borrowing for recurrent.
So they have breached the law.
But they started in
No, I'm just
2014.
asking, whatever they did, whenever they started, they're still continuing breaching the law. Right? That's what you're saying is a going concern.
So how do we handle it?
Delinquents.
Then how do you handle
No. If you breach the law, you're going
So how
concern.
do we handle it?
So if you wake up every day to kill Kenyans, and you just say others are still being born,
So
it's
how-
okay.
so how-
No. Don't say it's a going concern.
How do we handle
You
it?
have the law here that says you can only do this.
Yes.
They have decided to ignore it. Become delinquents to the Constitution of Kenya. And you say we are going concern. We are not. We're a banana republic. That's what you're advertising. That we are a banana republic that does not obey its own laws, its own constitutions, right? That has decided the law is an ass, not to be followed, to be thrown in the dustbin. Just do as we wish. This is our little kiosk. Yeah? 60 million Kenyans are like my kiosk. I can do what I want in my kiosk. When you own your own kiosk, you can do what you want. Take the revenue from soda to buy sugar. You can do what you want, right? But here, you have very clear laws.
What will be the solution to this problem?
The only way we are ever going to come out of this
Yes.
is to not pay what is odious to us.
Can't pay, won't pay.
Yes.
What are the consequences?
Kenyans are saved 2 trillion that going out in tax as a minimum. So they can then use it for
What
their
will
own
the
use.
lenders do? So
we
let's
don't
say
need-
now,
but we don't need
let's
lenders.
put it easy for our viewers. August, I think it's 10th, 2027. Jimmy Wanjigi has been elected president with my friend, I don't know when I saw him last, Willis as his deputy president now. They are in State House. Perhaps they have even given Manyora a job as an advisor in State House. How do you go about telling off our lenders that you gave us money, we are not going to pay you?
Okay.
And what will be the consequences?
Oh, it is so simple.
Yes. I know Mozambique has done a bit of that.
Mozambique actually, citizens went to
They
court.
told him this is right.
No, citizens went to court.
Yes.
That is a different ballgame.
Yes.
And they succeeded in their constitution.
Tell us about ours.
Ours is very simple.
Yes.
The first thing is that we've been asking for an audit for the longest time. I have done an audit.
Yes.
But there has to be an official government audit. As you know, the Auditor General, who is in law prescribed to do the audit, has not done a national debt audit.
Has not done?
No. She's supposed to do one every year within 6 months. She has not done. That's why even the current minister goes in and says, we're going to bring an audit, then you don't hear anything of it. Ruto appoints a committee, then it's disbanded.
So what would President Jimmi
So
Wanjigi
the first thing you do
yes.
is that you suspend all debt payments, all, until an audit of this debt has been fully done for the eyes of Kenyans.
Suspension can be allowed.
Yes.
People can understand.
Yes.
Okay, before we get to not paying.
Now.
Yes.
Yes, you suspend and you do an audit.
Now, let us assume
so
the
that
audit.
Kenyans, so that we, as a new government,
yes,
first have a true picture
yes,
of this whole. Because even the figures we are seeing, maybe it's more. I have a feeling. I know my friend in Zambia.
Yes.
Found much worse, Chelema, found much worse than what was stated on public records.
So let's say
what we are seeing from Sierra Leone, it was much worse than what was in public records. In the interest of time. So once we
have done the audit, okay, fine. Let's say now the audit shows the money came in. Number one. Number two, the audit then shows also that the money came in, but the law was not followed. Okay? The law which says you must publish, blah, blah, blah. So the law wasn't followed. Our law wasn't followed, but the money came in. How do you go from there? How do you deal with the lender? Because it is proved the lender gave Kenya money. Except that the shenanigans within the government bureaucracy mess things so much, there's no clarity as to how the money was perhaps even used, and that the law could have been violated. But the lender has given you the money.
My concern,
how would you say you can't pay?
My concern
yes,
would be to the people of Kenya,
okay,
and their sovereignty. So the first thing is,
yes,
if the money came,
yeah,
was it used for the purposes that was stated in a budget? Because the only approval is budget.
Yes. Supposing it was not,
then it is not legal for us to pay.
No, those are your domestic. Those are your domestic problems.
They are not. If you go and borrow from a bank today,
yes,
does the bank do their due diligence on you?
Yeah. But how I use the money is not their problem.
No, it is.
Let's make it simple.
Hold on.
Let's make it simple.
No, I'm being very simple. A bank, yes.
I'll forget. Let me ask you this. Here you are. You have borrowed money from a bank, 500 million. They have done their due diligence. You have come to your house. Let's make it little money. Let's say it's 20 million. You want to do upgrade in the house, kitchen, mkiona mama, nini. They always give money like that for, it's called upgrade, home upgrade. Nice television, nice cooker, and such as that. When you get money, unaingia mtaani, you go and do your things. Now, so long as the bank can prove they gave you that money, you have to pay it.
But the bank has got to secure itself.
I have known
How has the bank secured itself?
known people where a woman borrows money and the husband takes off with it to go and
hold on.
So those are domestic issues.
No, they are not. The bank
yes,
does due diligence.
Yes.
To secure.
You need the money and you can pay the money.
Hold on. To secure.
Yes, the money.
The
loan.
So how do they do that?
They have secured the loan.
Yes.
So now they are coming to auction your house.
Hold on. They have the option.
Yes.
All right? Of doing what? As long as they have followed due diligence.
Which is
you have not given them a fake title.
Let's go.
No, hold on.
No, let's go through it. No, let's go through it. You applied for 20 million for a home upgrade. Let's say, let's be fair to women. Is Mama who was working. Yeah. She has applied for a home upgrade. She has been given some 2 million for home upgrade. There is security.
Which is?
Some security has been given, whatever collateral they could have been.
What is the due diligence?
The due diligence that they have checked.
What is the
first of all?
No, what is the due diligence of the bank?
The bank has done its due diligence.
What is it?
They have done whatever.
What is it?
There are boxes they are ticking.
Yeah, which is what?
They have ticked all the boxes.
For them to give that loan, I'm asking you, Herman, what is it?
I'm saying
No, what is the due
It can't be
diligence?
uniform. It can't be uniform.
No, my friend, they have a basic standard.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
have you secured your loan?
Yes, yes.
How have they secured it?
Correct.
No, hold on. I'm asking you, how have they
No,
secured
no,
it?
no. You don't want
Have you given your title?
Yeah, for example.
All right.
Yes.
So the bank knows.
Yes.
You don't pay, I sell your title.
That's what we are saying.
Right. They've done their due diligence.
Yes.
So how does a foreign lender
Yes.
or a local lender
Yes.
secure its loans? How does it do its due diligence?
Through sovereign, whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Through what?
Through
How does it secure
the loan.
its due diligence?
Yes.
How?
Through the laws of the land.
Through sovereign? What did you just say?
The sovereign, whatever. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
what is sovereign?
Explain to us.
Sovereign is what is in our law.
What's in our law?
Our law says how you anchor debt. So you follow that.
Come on, just a moment. Are you saying
It is so
so
simple.
long as they didn't,
In other words,
if
if
they
you
were not
did
careful.
not follow our law,
Yes.
which says, number one, it must be passed by parliament.
Uh-huh.
Number two, it must be for development. You have no business giving the Kenya government money and calling it sovereign.
Come to think of it,
It is not sovereign to us.
you have a point. I've never thought about
not.
it that way.
It's finished.
So President Jimmi
Buyer
Wanjigi will
beware.
simply not pay.
Buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
Why should we pay what is illegal to us? Yes.
I hadn't seen the security part of
How?
it. That's what I hadn't seen.
Yes.
How about bonds, which
The
are legal?
same. Same. Which bond is this?
When you float the bond-
where is it passed by parliament to go for development?
When you secure it, when you go
passed
and
by
look for,
parliament? Go and show me in the
when you
budget.
float in the,
Go and show me in the budget where bonds are.
so when they are floating
Go and
this,
show me.
so when they are floating these things, those buying them must ensure they take care of the what you call due diligence.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yes. How else does a bank loan? You do your due diligence.
So we give you
If you want the sovereignness of a country as security, then look at what that means. It means our law. So look,
so if you
where
didn't
is that
follow that,
sovereignness anchored? It's not anchored by the Treasury TS signing or the CS signing.
and you can't take the title deed of Kenya,
No, it is our laws.
it's as simple as
Chapter
that.
12 is very simple. Very simple, my friend.
Then why are you not selling the idea to Kenyans?
I have been selling it for the last 4 years, 5 years. I've been telling Kenyans this is the issue. Now, I want you to imagine, Herman,
Yes, yes.
a country that is not
I
paying
must
2 trillion.
admit, I'm surprised. I've never known it was that
It's
straightforward.
very simple. It's very straightforward, actually, and very simple. And I'm saying
Yes.
that will save us a minimum of 2 trillion shillings per year.
What we are now paying,
Going out.
what could be fictitious.
Yes,
debts.
going fictitious debts. Now, what do we need?
Could the lender follow
do
the
we
people
need?
who took the money?
That is not our problem.
They can follow them if they want.
That is their problem. Us as Kenyans, Kwanzaa, let us make sure this money is not hemorrhaging, it's not leaving.
So we don't pay 22
So we don't pay
trillion.
2 trillion plus per year
We pump it into development.
into the country.
And
So
use
it means literally this. The land of milk and honey becomes possible.
Singapore is no longer a drink.
No, it's not
A
Singapore.
dream.
I think this
We
man,
go beyond Singapore.
This man is in his own world. Let's not compare us to William Ruto.
Maybe
The
Canada. at
land
least.
of milk and honey
It's Canada.
is here. It is not even something that we need to look far for.
No crocodiles.
It is right here.
No crocodiles.
crocodile.
No river to cross.
It is right here. So that 2 trillion plus
Yes.
is our milk and honey. It means this.
Yes.
For a child not to pay, for a parent not to pay primary
Yes.
school fees, high school fees, and TVET, you need 265 billion a year.
And here we are throwing away 2 trillion per
2
year.
trillion. That means that can be done.
It becomes a reality.
Without a parent taking out any money from their pocket.
Let's go through
No
it.
more bursaries,
Are
no
you
more
saying-
queuing.
Are you saying just like that,
I'm
free-
talking about immediate,
free education,
right up to Tibet.
the money you have saved,
Immediate, 265 billion we need. Immediately available. We've gone through the entire costing of universal healthcare, what we are so-called paying SHA, right? It is 180 billion per year. So that every Kenyan, right, with an ID can walk into a hospital and have free care without paying SHA, SHIF,
or whatever
I
they are
don't know,
called.
NHIF that
You
used to
just
be
go,
there.
get treated.
Just go, you get treated. We need 180 billion. It is there. So nobody is looking into their pockets, setting up WhatsApp group to raise money for a family member and so on. Finished.
I must ask you this
You
question.
walk in, now we
I
start
must
debating
ask you this question
quality.
again.
Yes.
How come you haven't made Kenyans aware of this?
I'm
so
now
far?
telling you. So we are making Kenyans aware. That alone is saying 500B, wananchi are removing from their pockets, is no longer going to be removed.
It's not necessary.
We don't need it. Go and spend it on other things. Go and spend it on other things. Keep it in your pocket and go and do what you want. 3, because we have what we call the fifth agenda.
Yes.
3, we are saying VAT at 16% collects a bit over now, almost about 500 billion shillings.
Yes.
We don't need that much. It is the biggest contribution to cost of living.
And poverty, yeah.
Right?
And,
The cost of living.
Yeah, and the
Because
iniquity.
you tax from raw material,
Yes.
right, to purchase.
And
Right.
pass it to the poorest of the poor.
Look at the fuel price.
Yes.
That is the biggest component,
Yes.
right? You are saying, we are saying, we don't need it at 16%. We're going to Parliament to ask for a standard 5% sales tax. So mwananchi 11%, keep it in your pocket. You pay 5% sales tax.
From
That is
16,
an
you drop it to
injection
5.
of another almost 300 billion back into your pocket to spend on something else.
To grow the
That
economy.
is 800 billion. We are saying wananchi will keep in their pockets to grow the economy. It is probably the biggest stimulus package you've ever seen. Free primary education.
Purchase power.
Free primary education.
The money you spend on it.
Took back during Kibaki's time.
Yes.
A little less than 50 billion back in people's pocket, and you saw the way they changed.
People now grow,
Changed.
buy things, spend, and
changed. Now I'm saying we're going to give you 800. Not giving you, you just don't take out from your pocket. You don't take out.
So what was there can be used.
Yeah. No, you don't take out.
Yes.
You take your child to school. Don't say that this government said it. No, you just take them. If anybody is asking you for school fees, that's a person you report to the police.
Yes.
You understand? If you go to a hospital, you're not getting medicine,
Yes.
that is a complaint. But if anybody asks you for money for medicine, that person you report to the police. You understand? If you go to a shop and they're charging you more than 5% sales tax, that's a person to report. It's you who is in control.
If Kibaki
That
had
is
not done a
800
bit
billion.
of that, people think you are crazy. Yeah?
No, it's why is it crazy?
I'm saying if
Then-
Kibaki hadn't shown it is possible.
Yes, probably.
Yes.
That is what you're doing. Then we're also saying the government will no longer borrow for recurrent expenditure. So it will no longer need to go to local banks
To compete with
to
businessmen.
compete with business money. So we are going to push a policy that takes our interest rates to about 3%.
Like other developed countries.
Yes. Now, these are countries that only has 28,000 mortgages.
Imagine.
You imagine doubling that. Okay? This place, forget about Ruto's little housing schemes here,
Yes.
which is a con game.
Yes.
You will see this whole country like a construction site.
Yes.
People building their own houses, right? Because they are getting loans at affordable interest rate. Mama Boga, for her business, will be able to borrow 1 million shillings and pay 30,000 shillings interest a year. That's nothing for them. They'll be able to do it. You have remembered the stimulus of 800. People are spending power. Is there.
In the economy.
Is there.
Money is circulating.
Anything you touch, you are just growing. As long as you're prepared to sweat, there's no reason why you're not growing. The land of milk and honey is already here.
I can agree with you.
It is already here.
Because
all it is
yes.
that we just need to cut off this chain of a constitutional sin.
Yeah.
That's all.
Because in
Once
this
you cut
country,
off
you
that
can't
chain,
borrow. You can't borrow.
This is
to
a
do
very
business.
different country.
You can't borrow to
now,
do business.
What
yes.
happens here
Yes.
is that you immediately shift the balance of power from government to the private sector. Do you understand?
And that's where Jimmi is.
You shift it. The country is growing because of the private sector. not government. And all government really should be doing are a few core issues. Ensure our security, ensure we have our fair laws in parliament, so the big don't eat the small.
Yes.
We have a judiciary system where we have our disputes, or even bring back the old systems in the countryside where people used to talk and air out disputes. You don't always have to go through a legal process, right? And then be a little bit of a stimulus. Some things the private sector cannot do, government does.
Elephant in the room.
Yes.
A friend of mine called Ndongo said, this is an extractive economy. The system is built for people to suck things out of it. And therefore, when you see things happening like this, there are people who are benefiting. And they are not small boys like Manyora. And therefore, you'll be stepping on many toes. How will you survive?
Simply this way.
How would you survive?
Simply this way.
The sharks will eat you.
Simply this way.
Yeah.
I agree with those assertions
Yes.
of your friend Dongo.
Yes.
And I'd like to say simply this.
Yeah.
People must look at the bigger picture. This country is for all of us. What we are proposing to do here with just those changes
Yes.
has the potential of doubling GDP probably within 5 to 6 years by our calculation.
Yes.
That means, Herman,
Yes.
anything you have today, and I know you have land, will double in value,
Yes.
triple in value by that time.
Yes.
You'll have even more takers. It is for all of us.
Yes.
Because we all will go.
But the sharks won't allow you.
No. Who says? Who told you it's about them?
Yeah.
Even the Mzungu didn't want to leave Kenya. Did they leave? See, they left.
They left.
So please, there's nothing
You
like
can deal with the sharks.
Even I used to remember...
Kenyans call them cartels. Will you deal with the cartels?
I remember during the Moi period, people saying, Moi will only leave that chair when he's dead like Kenyatta.
Yes.
See, he left when he was alive. And handed over
I'll ask you a question.
with his hand like this.
You're
my friend-
afraid
no,
of
no, hold
answering
on.
it. Will you deal with the cartels?
But you see, you're shifting the trade.
Yes.
It's now the private sector.
Okay.
Talk about how we'll manage private sector cartels, not government cartels.
Those ones you love.
And you can see it, for
Yes.
example, in America.
Yeah.
No, there'll be no money to chase here. We are sending the money back to the private sector.
So you as serikali wanatafuta
Iko nini hapa? This one will just be doing its core business. Hakuna
wakimbie
kitu
huko kwa
kingine.
private huko
Yes, go
participate.
to the private sector.
And they are well
So
facilitated.
you find
and
that you
everything
will
is-
have people who grow tremendously, like you saw Microsoft
Yes.
grow to the extent that it has become larger than many countries in the world.
Yes.
Apple, the same. So you bring in laws that make sure they can't prey and become monopolies. The antitrust laws you saw there. So tell us about how we'll manage the private sector. And that is where I'm saying fair trade. That's what parliament will be about. Right?
Laws
Creating laws that try and mitigate against these imbalances and abuse.
Yes.
Right? Of cartels that could form out there.
There also
It's a
money
private
through
sector
the
thing. It is
Yeah.
not going to be a government thing. We are shifting the money. We are actually just saying, Mwananchi, it's your money, you keep it and let it grow for you. It's not ours. Ours is just to do some core functions, and they are very few. You really don't need government. We're just there to make sure that when you call us, right, you have an emergency, I want you to be saying the policeman should have been here in 5 minutes, he has come in 10 minutes.
That will be the concern.
That
now.
will be the concern of Kenyans. Tumepiga nduru, amekuja after 10 minutes, wakora wametoroka.
I explain.
Yes.
The OCS must now come and explain.
Yes. That I'm going to hospital, right? I'm not getting the medicine I wanted. Or
I'm
the
told
care.
to wait for
so
an
let's
hour
talk
as
about
they-
quality, but nobody's asking you for money. I'm going to school and the teacher does not know proper English to teach my child. Let's talk about quality.
Not
You
about
see?
being asked for some
Not
little-
about being asked for school fees. And that debate is good for all of us because we are improving our
And you know-
lives.
and you know why that is serious? I escorted my son to take my grandson to school. I don't want to say I was the one paying the fees. That reminds me they are opening schools.
Your grandson.
They are opening schools
Your
tomorrow.
grandson.
Now,
State of the economy.
you know, this, we are laughing, but these are not laughing.
Yes.
In the school, the admission of Form 1, the process was being done in the school grounds, kwa kiwanja. na walikuwa wameweka rumba. So I wondered, hii muziki
nini?
ya wazee, wamewekea wazee hii muziki. So you are moving with the boxes, with the children,
But
from
rumba.
one station, hapa wanaandika, hapa ni sijui nini, uoneshe fees umelipa, wanatik, hapa uniform, you know that kind of people. And nice rumba. Then I was wondering, for who are they playing this
For you.
rumba?
The one who's taking out the fees.
Do you know what I checked? What I saw? I didn't see the young people who had brought the children.
No.
I saw my age mates.
You're looking
The
after your
message I'm
children's
saying,
children.
Yes.
Yes.
It is grandparents
Yes.
who are paying these fees,
Now, that is
who are taking children to school.
right. Because there is a generation
So there's a big problem
whose
in this
economic
country.
future
Yes.
has been stolen.
There's a problem in this country.
Yes, it has been stolen.
And therefore, if it were to happen, if it happens that we have a man or woman in State House who can solve this manner in the manner you are explaining to them, this country would change.
Herman,
You can't have people of my age taking children to school.
you can see now how what a fruitful discussion this is. Even you are now talking about the plight of your own grandchildren.
Yes.
And how you are looking after them.
Yes.
And before you were
And
saying
how I
how
looked
everybody-
around,
you were
I
very
didn't
concerned.
see this edge there. I didn't see my...
Correct. Do you see when we
Tukaanza kuangaliana tunacheka sisi wenyewe.
when we debate people issues,
Yes.
we all grow. We all grow. We all learn. We all grow. At the end of the day,
Now we must come to an end. Because this debate is becoming so interesting, we can sleep here. Because I must go away and you must remain doing your business. These wonderful things should be achieved.
oh, thank you.
But you can't achieve this thing without getting political power. In a minute, and please, you're a businessman, strictly 1 minute. What is your pathway to power?
I intend to sell agenda politics. I intend to sell the fifth agenda. In the fifth agenda, I've explained to you the 5 pillars. We are not going to pay odious debt. And that means that we'll have enough money for free primary, free high school, and free TVET. It means that nobody will ever pay for their health services again in this country as long as you are a Kenyan citizen.
Ukiwa mgonjwa
No more
hospitali.
SHA, no more NHIF payments, no nothing.
Yes.
Unaenda tu ukiwa na ugonjwa wa sukari ama nini.
When
your ID
Kenya
guarantees you your health.
Okay.
It says that we are not going to pay the high cost of living that VAT causes. We are going to reduce that money so that more money remains in your pocket. Remains in your pocket.
In your pocket.
In your pocket.
To spend in the economy.
We shall also make sure that the hard-earned money that you have put in your banks comes back to work for you, not for the government and the Jimmies. And I add a 6th. There is an arm of oppression that has been used against us since the colonial period.
Yes.
And that is called the police service. That has been the draconian arm under which you go a bit off, Herman, unaenda kufinya mtu.
They descend on you.
They descend on you. We are going to bring, within the first 3 months,
Yes.
legislature to parliament that we pray will be passed. That simply says this. An OCS in Kenya, an OCPD in Kenya,
Yes.
is equivalent to what the Americans call a sheriff, head of a division.
Yes.
The sheriff in America is elected by people of that division. There are 597 OCPDs in Kenya. We are going to insist that we want an election of those OCPDs to be done every year after an election, general election.
Yes.
So that you in your division vote for your OCPD. And that OCPD will be either a civilian or a trained uniformed police officer. And he is answerable to you. It is very hard for an OCPD that is elected, like a sheriff in America.
Yes.
And there is even a term, even in the UK they have a similar term,
Yes. Yes.
to take up arms against the people who are voted, to shoot, to blatantly arrest them as a rent tax. You know, a lot of people are arrested in this country every day,
Yes.
just to be a customer for policemen.
Yes.
All those things will come to an end because now you are answerable. You even have a recourse clause. So not only are we empowering people, we are taking away the domination arm that has been used since time immemorial. In 1920, by the way, when it became a colony, it was a private company.
Yes.
The watchmen of that private company are the ones who became the policemen.
So we'll change all that.
We are going to change all that.
We need.
So you create a very different environment here.
Will you allow us?
That OCPD will be saying, yes, sir, knowing from his heart, you are actually the sir.
Sir.
Because you can remove them with the
Sir, will you allow us to have another show another day?
Any day. Thank you.
Jimmi Wanjigi.